So Ford, I want to take you back a little bit just to start off. Ron kind of touched on it in terms of the bidding process. I know that you were involved right off the hop. It was something that you wanted to accomplish. As the head coach of the program, I know it was a big deal for you. And can you maybe take us back through a bit of what that was like in terms of going through that, knowing that you were potentially going to secure the national hosting rights for the national title for your men's hockey team?
So yeah, obviously it started many years ago, and we weren't trying to recreate the wheel. You look at other programs across Canada, and kind of the vehicle of hosting the Nationals has elevated programs to a whole other level. And not only hosting once, but hosting multiple times. It was touched on earlier that it can affect recruiting cycles for 5 years. So when you host multiple times, it can start to really impact the type of student athlete that you're recruiting to your school. So that's kind of the premise of the whole idea, the initial one, and then obviously we started to add layers as we went through. But I might call myself a little bit of an athletic director killer. I've had 4 athletic directors, starting with Ron at UPI, and we've been going after the bid of every single athletic director. And so now we finally have it, and it's ours to enjoy here next week. So we're obviously very excited.
Right. So, Forbes, when you look at that, it's one thing to secure the bid. Then you got to think about how are you going to build a team that you think can compete for not only an AUS title but for a U Sport title as well too. And can you maybe walk us through in terms of what you thought of what you were looking for in terms of players, character, personal qualities, that sort of thing that you would be looking for to be part of that team building for a national championship?
Well, I think one thing we've been very lucky here at UPI as far as our hockey team is I feel that we never get cheated on effort. Even have my old coach here tonight, Doug Curry, coached here for 10 years as well. And I'm sure he would say the same thing, that every team he's had while he has coached here has been a very hard-working team. Yet a lot of times you're fortunate to have a few Islanders on your team, and they're usually come with a good work ethic and kind of self-revered type of people.
Right.
But then, you just try to have that competitive advantage. Maybe sometimes we play the underdog card, whatever it might be. So I think our program has been known over the years to be a very hard-working group, a team that other teams don't want to play. But when you get at this level, you're competing for a national championship, you have to increase your skill. So I think that's what this group here currently has over other teams that we've had is our balance of skill and our depth of skill, along with that compete. This actually could be, of all the teams I've coached, the most competitive team.
They're not fun to play against.
A lot of times we have to dial them back in, so we certainly haven't sacrificed any of our competitiveness when we've had the skill, so we think we're a hard team to play against.
So, Forbes, when you're looking at it with this particular group, kind of ask the players their perspective on the year that was. From the coaching side of things, how did you see it in terms of how the season unfolded, and then how the season's going to look in these remaining days?
Yeah, the guys touched on it. They described it pretty well, I felt. Along with hosting the Nationals, kind of putting the team in the forefront, or putting us, everybody, all supporters and everything, knowing that we're hosting. A lot of people from the community got on board, and we had a significant donor get on board, and it was the McLaughlin family. And they donated a significant contribution to the program. And I basically had it put together kind of a business plan of how we were going to use it. And a big part of it was for exhibition. And so we were the only team in our conference that did a trip to the OUA this year and a trip to NCAA. And that was 100% because of the donation from the McLaughlin family. And what we did for those two exhibition trips is we took as much staff that could come. And it was really a good opportunity for all the freshman players and just the team in general to get together, you know, especially coming off a couple COVID years when travel was really limited. It gave us that opportunity to come together as a group. We had a successful trip. Guys took their game to another level early, which gives you that confidence. And I know the guys touched on it earlier that we started the regular season 1-3, but after we lost that game to go 1-3, so when we lost the third game, I think they'll all admit to you that in the dressing room that night I said we're not a 1-3 team. We could have been 3-1.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we kind of took the angle of looking at things from, you know, 10,000 feet and not panic here. We're a good team. And then things kind of started to roll, and we went on that run. I think we might have got 23 to 24 points or something. So then we, as the guys touched on too, you know, you hate to sit here and make excuses. Sometimes we like to call them reasons, right? But, you know, the second half, we get off to that good start. All the guys came back early. You know, we pressed the guys to come back early. We got into some really good skates at the end of December, early January. We started the second half beating Moncton, and then went on the road and beat UNB, and we were, you know, 5th in the country then and really cruising. And then the Fishu games came. And, I mean, they're asking for the best players in the country, right? So we lost a couple players to that, and you know, we started to get some battles, some injuries and stuff, but you know, that's all part of the deal, right? And it's a tough conference, right? When you have some players that you've lost for events like that or injuries, and we had some games that we perhaps lost, but you know, we might have got away with a couple wins early in the first semester too. So there's a couple of those games we lost that we felt we could have won. Yeah, for sure. So it all balances out in the end.
Yeah. So Forbes, you know, you talked about playing for Captain Doug over here for back in 95, 96. Your own heartbreaking loss in the AUS final against Acadia that year. You've been around the men's hockey team as a player, as a fan. When you were a kid, you're watching hockey forever at UPI, and you know, we always talk about bleeding green and white. I think your veins are pretty green and white as well too. But what would it mean to you? What does it mean to you, knowing that you're on the cusp right now of playing in the national championship for a team that's been such a big part of your whole life?
You know, Norman, some ways when I hear you talk, I feel like you're taking words right out of me. Like you have a way of describing your passion for UPI. I feel like we're very much on the same level. You know, when we put in multiple bids to host this event, the number one priority is to win the national championship. But beyond that, it's important in so many ways. We want to share that UPI legacy. We're very proud of what a small school has accomplished from a team perspective, but also like some individuals, you know, guys that have played in the NHL, like your Al McAdams, your Billy McMillan, of course Joel Ward. Right? We have a lot to share. We want U Sport to recognize how passionate people on PI are about Panther hockey, and we want to kind of stick our chest out and say we have a good thing going on here. And we also want to put on an event like Trent is indicating. So we just don't want this to be a hockey tournament. We want it to be an event that people remember.
Right. Well, buddy, listen, you know, you got the support of the alumni, you've got the support of the administration, the athletic department, TJ touched on it, the Western end pulling for us, the Eastern end's pulling for us. Everyone's pulling for the Panthers in the upcoming tournament. March 17th, St. Paddy's Day. It's going to be a memorable one for us all. So all the best to you guys in the tournament. We're proud of you, and we're proud of these guys out here, and we can't wait to get it going.
Obviously, the players and Ron did a great job thanking a lot of people. So there's a lot of people in here in the room tonight that have been with us for a long time. There's one guy who hasn't been mentioned, and he had been with me from day one at UPI, and obviously during COVID, things started to change for a little bit. And sometimes people, miss the skip and maybe didn't get back to the things they used to do. But there was a point in time, this might be the one thing I can't say about this group right now, but we'll get that back on track. There was one time when this program was averaging 12 to 14 academic All-Canadians a year. And a big part of that was Ken DeRoche, and Ken is here tonight. I just want to say thank you. Been a season ticket holder, and for many years he was our academic advisor, and it's great to see him here tonight.
Well said, Forbes. So that concludes the formal part of this evening. Thanks for being a part of it.